Hi, this is Jenna.
And this is Heather.
And this is Conspiracies Unlocked. And we have a special episode for you in regards to all the crazy shit that's going up in the skies, going down up in the skies. So we were already going to do an episode about the Chinese spy balloon, but we almost did it last week, but we wanted to make sure that we had enough information, and I'm so glad we waited. Because all of a sudden there's been more, but they aren't Chinese spy balloons. We don't know what they are. So we're going to find out we're going to kind of go over everything, and we'll probably end up doing more when more stuff comes out. But this is just the information that we know now right?
Yeah, it's just the most updated information. Today is the 13th. We're recording this.
Yeah, so February 13th, and it was a busy weekend for air control and military and the Air Force and NORAD. So, all right, well, let's get into it. We'll talk about the China spy balloon first. What the news failed to tell people is that they actually found the balloon on January 28th. But didn't tell anybody until like the 2nd. So it had gone over Canada. It went over Canada on the 28th, and then made its way through Alaska on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and then finally on Wednesday, on February 1st, is when the news came out and said, "Oh, by the way, there's a weather balloon in the sky that's the size of," get this, 3 freaking school buses.
Wow, that's pretty big.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And it was like 60,000 feet over the air. It was crazy large. But why didn't they tell us that there was something going on before?
And if it was over Canada, and
Alaska. It went over Alaska. They saw it in the beginning. NORAD saw it first over Alaska on Saturday the 28th, and they didn't say shit until the following Wednesday. That's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. The 4 days later, then they say something? What fucking bullshit is that?
But what would be the purpose of keeping it quiet?
I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. And then, okay, so they find this thing, and then instead of shooting it down, or what about Canada? Why didn't Canada shoot it down? So I made a map of the path of the China weather balloon and where it was shot down, and I even put days of like where it was each throughout the path.
Yeah.
So Heather's gonna post this onto Facebook and Instagram and stuff, so you'll be able to see the close up and the flight path of this weather balloon, and then also I have so much information to tell, and I don't know how to tell it all. I don't know which order to tell it in.
It's like brain overload.
Yeah. So these are the states it flew over. So it went over Alaska, obviously, then through Canada, and then it went into Montana, and that's where we picked it up, and then it went to Wyoming, South Dakota, Nebraska, Missouri, Tennessee, and then South Carolina, and then it was shot down on February 4th, right past South Carolina, off of the coast of Myrtle Beach, in the Atlantic Ocean. So my first question is, why don't they shoot it down? Why? Well, this is why. Because President Biden and whoever didn't know what would happen if they did shoot it down. Because they didn't know if there was a virus in it, or that would just shoot out all this virus or stuff over America. It was so large, they didn't want it to, like, pieces of debris and stuff to fall onto people and hurt people, which that makes sense.
Yeah.
They also didn't know if they were to shoot it if it was like a ticking time bomb and would just like explode and be like a nuclear fallout type thing.
Yeah.
They had no idea. So I get why they didn't do it over land, but they first saw it in Alaska, where it's all just like snowy and nothing is going on over there. So why couldn't they shoot it down in the icy mountains of...
Yeah, there's a lot of area of Alaska that's very rural.
Most of it is like nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing out there.
So why wouldn't they just do it there right away instead of allowing it to go all this way and do this whole like week-long saga?
And why didn't Canada do anything?
Exactly, and I think that everybody was just like, what the fuck is it? Like, what the fuck is this? Nobody knew what it was. It just, the whole thing is weird.
It is just really weird to me that they allowed it. At least two different countries, America and Canada, allowed it to go over their airspace for so long.
Especially now, they are definitely saying it was definitely a surveillance balloon. When they contacted China, or I'm not sure if China contacted America first, or how they found out it was a Chinese surveillance balloon, or from the Chinese at all. But the Chinese government said that it was a civilian meteorological research balloon that was accidentally blown off course. Okay?
So a weather balloon that was
accidentally blown off course. Okay, but if that was the case, why wouldn't, as soon as the weather balloon got off course and you saw it going over American or any other country's airspace, why wouldn't you be like, hey, President Biden, like, hey, national security people, what's up? So, by the way, we have this weather balloon that actually went off course. Just want to let you know, give you a heads up. Like, it's ours. We're going to try to, like, redirect. But, fuck, it's huge and we can't do it. Sorry. Mm-hmm. But it's going to go over your shit. Just want to let you know that we're not going to, we're not trying anything bad or whatever.
Because I call bullshit.
Yeah.
It was never a weather balloon.
Well, and then, so then they're also saying that, who was it? The U.S. Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, was supposed to go to Beijing on Monday, the following Monday, which would have been the 30th. Monday, January 30th, he was supposed to go. So they're saying, so on China's side, they're like, well, why would we fuck that up? Why would we send this balloon 2 days prior, right before you're supposed to come here to, like, make peace and do a peace treaty or agreement or whatever, that they were going to try to, like, be friends and figure shit out, right?
Yeah.
Why would they want to sabotage that? Because China doesn't fucking care, probably. But America, no American diplomat has been to China since 2018. So it's been 5 years, and this was supposed to be like a big deal, him going there.
Oh, I didn't know it's been 5 years. Wow.
Yeah. So it was like a big deal to, like, try to make peace and blah blah, and what, I don't even know what it was really for, but yeah. But that was canceled, and Antony Blinken said that would be canceled indefinitely, postponed indefinitely, until like further notice, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, so that weather balloon, or that spy balloon, supposed to be a weather balloon just for, like, scientific purposes. Okay, cool. Y'all fucked up. You sent a balloon over American skies, and we fucked up by not shooting it down quicker, right? Well, a lot of people that I noticed were saying that, well, why would they want to know what's in Montana? Why would they want to know, like, there's nothing in there? Actually, there is. And if you look on the map that that Heather's gonna post, it shows all the states that went through the flight path and all of the military bases that we know of.
Wait, military bases?
Yeah, that it went over. And it went over the exact path of all these military bases.
Well, that makes sense. If it's a spy balloon, it wants to know about our military.
Yeah, so there was, just in South Carolina alone, they went over 8 military bases. In Tennessee, they went over 3. Missouri, they went over 3. And then they went over 1 in Montana, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas.
Wow.
So they went over a lot of different military bases that we know of.
Yeah, and there's probably more we don't even know of underground and everything
the weird
else.
thing that you have to, that are just in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. But everyone's like, what's in Montana? Well, dumbasses. A lot of shit is in America, in Montana. Like,
we have a lot of military bases.
We have a lot of military bases everywhere. Yeah. So, what the fuck? People are fucking idiots. Like, literally, people were commenting on the news reports being like, what the fuck is in Montana? I'm a fucking idiot, and I believe everything the government says, and so they say that it's nothing is in Montana but cows. Like, what the fuck?
Montana's really pretty. I've been to Montana.
I've been there once as well.
But yeah, so it definitely sounds like they are getting a lot of surveillance, possibly for an invasion. I don't know, but that's pretty
like
scary.
World War III status, like, I don't know. So while China is saying, "Oh my bad, it was a weather balloon that just got off course,"
then why is it going off course exactly over
where?
these military
or
bases?
why was a second balloon found on February 3rd, the day before they shot down the Chinese balloon, off of the United States Atlantic Ocean? They found a second balloon that was in South America. And it went over Costa Rica, Venezuela, Colombia, and it went all the way down South America. And guess what? On February 6th, the Chinese government says, the spokeswoman said, "Oh, it belongs to China, and it was used for flight tests and was also blown off course in the same manner that the one over America was." Why the fuck wouldn't you be like, "Oh, hey, by the way, world," since now all the world is looking at you, "Hey, by the way, we have several of these out here, so if it gets blown off course again, my bad." No. They wait until they get caught, and then they're like, hee, it's a scientific experiment. Oops.
We're not mapping out the world's military bases.
Yeah, like, what the fuck? So, anyway, so the Colombian, Air Force people, they didn't see it as posing like a real threat, and so they just let it go, and they didn't shoot down, they didn't do anything, they just waited and watched it until it left their airspace. Yeah. And this one was 55,000 feet over, 55,000 feet in the air, and it was going about 29 miles per hour, which is about like what a weather balloon would be doing, because way up there with the wind and stuff.
Yeah, it's just going at the pace.
Rate of, at the pace of the wind. So I don't know. So those are two balloons that occurred at the beginning of the month, a week and a half ago. Then we get to this weekend. Ready for this one? On Friday, February 10th, another object was shot down in Dead Horse, Alaska. And this one was, it was cylindrical and in shape, and it was obviously smaller than the balloon. Mm-hmm. And it was like the classic Tic Tac UFO.
This is the one they said was the size of like a Volkswagen.
I believe. Like a car.
Yeah, small
car. So
it's
kind of small. So they shot that down in Alaska. And those who don't know what the Tic Tac UFO is, it looks like a Tic Tac, and it has been around since the theory that people have been seeing it for like 100 years or more.
I don't know when it started for sure, but I can tell you, and I told you this already before we recorded that, a little quick story. My grandparents lived in Iowa. They lived in Iowa, sorry. And my grandfather was smoking a cigar on the front patio and saw something in the sky and said to his family, "Come out, look at this." And it was exactly looked like the Tic Tac UFO he saw in Waverly, Iowa. This would have been in the early 20s.
Yeah. So it's been around for a while, sightings of this UFO. And Heather's gonna dive deeper into that at some point in life. And we don't know what we're doing. We're just rolling with it. So that was shot down, but they don't know what it was, where it came from. They're still looking at the debris and seeing everything. February 11th, same type of thing at 40,000 feet. And this one was shot down in Canada, in Yukon, Canada. So it's in the northern part of Canada, almost in Alaska. And then this third one, there was another one on February 12th on Sunday. So while everyone's watching the Super Bowl, our U.S. Air Force was shooting down UFOs playing Independence Day. So this one was shot down in Lake Huron, and it's weird because on the map it's exactly, so Lake Huron is in Michigan, and it goes and it shares, Lake Huron is half Michigan's, so U.S. territory, and the other half is Canada. Oh. And so the border is like right in the middle of Lake Huron. So it's kind of weird because I've never been to the Great Lakes or anything in Michigan or up there, but I guess that a lot of the Great Lakes are like half Canada, half Michigan. They're split down the middle. And where this particular UFO, and this was an octagon-shaped UFO, so it had 8 sides.
Octagon?
Octagon.
Wow.
So really like UFO type, classic UFO type.
So there was 2 weather balloons. So
two
like
balloons.
Spheres.
Yeah.
And then 2 tic-tac
and 1 octagon shape.
Wow. Okay. So it's interesting to me that I know that they're different shapes too. It's not all the same shape.
So
that's important.
I wonder if the octagon, I wonder if that's like the motherboard ship. And then the Tic Tacs are the little ones that go off. Oh.
That would make sense. I like the little pods.
Yeah, those would be the little pods that go off from the big Tic Tac one. Oh. I don't know, but anyway, so it was right on the border of Canada and U.S. in Lake Huron. That one was shot down.
So whose airspace was it? It was just, it could be either?
Yeah.
Right
so Biden and then their prime minister had to talk to each other and be like, hey, like this is kind of on both of us. Like, what are we doing with this? And they shot it down. But,
Okay.
Then, so the Air Force was like, they were like, well, what is it? And the Air Force was like, at this point, we can't rule out shit. Like, they were just like, we're not saying it is or it isn't. Is it a UFO? Is it a Chinese more spyware from other governments? Is it this? Is it that? And they're just like, at this point, we don't know what the fuck it is. Like, we're not ruling out anything. It could be a UFO. Why not?
Well, I mean, anything that's unidentified is technically a UFO. Yeah. But, I mean, is it of alien origin?
Who knows? Yeah, because it's an unidentified flying object. But where'd it come from? Because, yeah, these are UFOs. They're unidentified flying objects. So,
what about private, like, scientists and stuff?
So, Pentagon correspondent David Martin on CBS, I watched an interview this morning with him, and he had said, well, because of the Chinese balloon, the original one that was shot down on February 4th, they have kind of upticked their radar. So before, their radar would only look for like high pace, like really fast, like missiles, jets, like they're looking for like immediate, imminent danger.
Yeah.
Now they didn't want to pick up on things like a bird, or he even said a piece of trash flying by. So they had their filters up pretty high to be like, okay, we want something that's over 50 miles an hour, that's over this size, that's over this, da 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 da. So I guess that ever since the weather balloon incident, they have taken down the filters more, so they're able to pick up on smaller things. So what's really scary is David Martin said that these objects could be there all the time and we've just never noticed because they've never picked them up before, because they never cared until now.
The filtration wasn't set to see them.
Yeah. So this shit could have been going on all the time. People could have been like surveilling us or whatever, just not with as big of a fucking weather balloon,
Yeah.
Or the UFO alien people could be here like the whole time and we just never had the filtration system that low, or
So now they're paying more attention to every little thing to try to see what exactly is out there.
Yeah. So then their guard is up and everything. So we are probably going to see a lot more, and that's why I was like, we should do this episode like right now so we can add on to it later and give updates, as opposed to trying to just give everything all at once, because I feel like that's going to be a lot.
It is a lot.
It's already a lot, but then we're going to add.
It's already a lot, because I didn't even know about the one in Yukon in Canada on February 11th. I didn't hear about that one.
Yeah, I didn't hear about any of them until this morning. They were like, 3 UFOs
what about the one in China?
Okay, yeah. I didn't even know about that one. That's a you thing. So what happened on China? And that was February 12th, so that was yesterday as well.
This was yesterday. The only thing that I know is that China detected something in their airspace near Beijing in the Yellow Sea. And that,
in the eastern Shandong province, right?
Yes, okay. And that's near the Yellow Sea. And they were warning, like, fishermen, because, you know, there's a lot of fishermen and stuff. They were warning them to, like, be safe and just be vigilant and, like, kind of get out of that area for fishing because they didn't know what it was. And basically, this was, I think, 10 or 11 hours ago, and they have not shot it down to my knowledge yet, but they were getting ready to shoot it down because they didn't know what it was. But I haven't been able to find any updates as to whether they did or not. I know there's like a whole time difference thing and everything, and I don't know if it's been shot down yet. I think that they're planning on shooting it down.
They could be doing it right now as we're recording. They could have done it right now, yeah. Yeah, as we're recording, could be being shot down right now.
But that's a whole nother one that just like 10 hours ago.
Oh, I forgot to add this. So when David Martin was talking, the CBS Pentagon correspondent was talking, he said what's weird is that he said that it's most likely a scientific type like research balloons that are up there, or you know whatever, something like that, more weather balloons, not even from China, not from just private or individuals or just companies in general, just trying to like science up there, just science.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, they do experiments.
Researching.
We do experiments all the time.
Yeah. And so he said that it's probably like that. However, and then he said, but on the other side of it, if you have this $1 billion research satellite going on up there, and then the American government shoots it down, you're going to call somebody and be like, dude, that was mine.
Oh, yeah.
Can I have it back? Can I get the pieces back or something? Like, that wasn't anything bad. It was my shit that I'm like researching so I can, you know, whatever they research for. And but nobody has come forward. So that's what's weird too, is that somebody should have come forward by now to be like, hey, that was mine, and I'm not a fucking terrorist. Yeah. I'm a fucking scientist, and I'm the next Isaac Newton, you know?
Like, so, and SpaceX hasn't came forward.
Nobody has come forward. No, and Elon Musk was at the Super Bowl yesterday, so he was busy anyways.
Because I was thinking during all this, I'm like, oh, it must be SpaceX.
Yeah, they have so much stuff out there, but I almost think that that the government would have already contacted SpaceX to make sure it wasn't theirs, because SpaceX does so much stuff, and I almost think that SpaceX and the government are almost like becoming one. Now they're like conjoined, like to where the government, they probably have a SpaceX person in the government just to be like, hey, SpaceX, what you doing today? Well, or SpaceX to be like, tell them like all the time, like, hey, we're going to be firing this, we're going to be launching this, we're going to be doing this. Like, I'm sure that the government knows exactly where SpaceX shit is, because that would make sense.
Yeah, they have to communicate.
They literally, I was in Bakersfield, was it a Hot Rod reunion, so October, like 2019 or 18 or something, and all of a sudden, it was all over the news that we would see all these satellites, and I swear to God, it was like right when SpaceX was first starting to like really get going.
Yeah.
And we saw probably like 40,000 satellites go across the sky, like all of, just in a line.
Was that what they call like the Skylink or Sky?
Yeah. And that was right when it was first. So it was 2018, 2019, something like that, and we watched it all go over. It was so cool, but it's still like, so the government has to be in link with SpaceX to know that that's occurring, or else they're going to be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they have to be in communication.
Yeah, so it definitely wasn't SpaceX. None of this shit was SpaceX. But if it wasn't a terrorist group or another government or something, then why wouldn't they come forward? And also, they had said, the government had come out and said, like, you know, governments are always spying on other countries. Like, it is what it is. This is what happens.
Yeah.
Like,
we're constantly all
spying on each other, so it wouldn't be like so weird to have that happen. Like, that's not out of the realm of possibility, because we're always spying on each other.
But I think that usually,
that's so stupid. Don't admit that shit.
No, but I know, because everybody knows, but I think that usually it's a little more like covert, and this was so much like in your face, like a giant weather.
Yeah,
you
like
know,
what
they
the
said
fuck?
weather balloon, but like
Yeah.
a giant balloon. Like that's kind of obvious.
Yeah.
It's not like they have like agents.
But these
like,
other ones are the covert. These other little tiny ones are the weird.
well, because they're
but nobody's
undetected before because of filtration.
Yeah, and nobody's claiming it. Nobody's doing shit. I think they're among us.
Well,
okay, sorry. Go on to
no.
Okay, I
So,
just wanted to add that because that was so
No,
important to
wait.
what I was. Yeah, what I wanted to say, and I totally like blanked on saying it. So
no, that was really important. I'm glad that you did mention that, and I wanted to mention like these are the facts of what's actually happening, in the worldwide.
Yeah.
I mean, worldwide, all over the world. And there are a lot of conspiracies. Obviously, we've said UFO multiple times. We've mentioned aliens. We've mentioned a lot of things. But it's a known fact also that from 1947 to 1969, our U.S. Air Force investigated UFOs under what was called Project Blue Book. So Project Blue Book was headquartered at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio. And it was terminated in December 17th, 1969. And their sole purpose was just to investigate reports from just anybody could call and make a report. You know, oh, I saw something in the sky.
yeah, they still have that
Yeah.
somewhere. They have to because they still do that.
Yeah, so they were investigating sightings from just like the general population.
Yeah.
And also whatever maybe they could pick up on their radar or different,
Yeah.
you know, filtrations, like you said, systems that we have in place now. During that time period, 1947 to 1967, and remember, if we go back to our last episode that we did about the interview with the alien,
yeah.
Roswell was in 1947.
So that's when that all started.
And then Project Blue Book happened
right
in
after.
1947.
Yeah, so it's probably all coinciding.
So they started really ramping it up, right?
Yeah.
So a total of 1,200, and almost 1,300 sightings were reported during just that time of Project Blue Book. And still to this day, 701 are unidentified. So at least 701 they don't know. They can't tell you. It's still unidentified. They have no idea what they were at all.
Wow.
And that goes back from, you know, all the way to 1969.
Yeah.
So this is not anything new, but it's the fact that now it's being in our news and reported. Because before they always said weather balloon. Even Roswell, they said weather balloon.
Yeah.
They always go to weather balloon.
It's so fucking weird.
Always. It's a scientific experiment. It's a weather balloon. It's something like that. This, to my knowledge, I mean, I don't ever remember in my lifetime where it was actually on the news the way that it's been, where they're shooting down unidentified, and they're telling the people, we're shooting down an unidentified.
Not keeping it covered right now. It's because they can't, because social media and with Facebook and with the like just the internet in general has made everything so in your face, knowledgeable, like and all the news reports want them. All the media want you to look at their news. Yeah. So right now, the hot topic is the earthquakes in the Middle East. I think Turkey
and Syria.
And the UFOs. So if you go turn on any news channel right now, it's going back and forth, and they're going to beat these stories like to death. And just on repeat, because that's what people want to hear right now. So that is why they're so like getting the Pentagon on the phone, and even whenever you listen to some of the like Secretary of the State or whoever, like the political people up there at the White House and stuff, they're kind of like rolling their eyes to this to be like, why is this getting so much coverage? Like this shit happens all the time, but why is this a deal now? And it's because the media, the news reports, and everybody, they want you to listen to theirs, so they're just going to keep talking about it, and that's what people want to hear. They like to hear the crazy.
And I'm so
crazy
glad.
cells.
I'm so glad that you mentioned the earthquakes in Turkey and Syria. It's heartbreaking that that's happening right now, but with that happening and with the UFO sightings,
I didn't put it together.
You know what it goes into? it goes into Project Bluebeam.
What's Project Bluebeam? Are we gonna get in depth, or are we gonna do a whole episode on that?
No, I have a conspiracy theory that suggests NASA has secret plans to create a new world order, and there's 4 steps, and I just wanted to tell you the 4 steps of Project Bluebeam.
Are we gonna get into this again later as like an episode? We could do a whole episode.
We could probably get more into it. I just wanted to touch on the 4 steps.
Okay, what's the 4 steps?
The fact that you said earthquakes, it's the nail. You hit the nail on the head. Like, you know, you.
What? Okay,
perfect.
Go.
Okay, so, you know, we talked about what's happening in the world. We talked about what happened in the past with Project Blue Book. Now, there's the whole Project Blue Beam. Step 1 is the breakdown of all archaeological knowledge. So this example would be the systematic setup of earthquakes at certain precise locations in the planet where new archaeological discoveries have been found, but they want to hide them from the world.
Yeah, what was just found? Wasn't something just found?
Well, they want to hide them from the world because if these archaeological artifacts came to light to the population, it would completely wipe out every major religion's beliefs of who we are, where we came from, how the world started. Every single religion would be debunked. And Turkey and Syria, I mean, they're 2 of like the oldest.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all old. But if you look at like the image, like it's really sad what happened because a lot of people have lost their lives and it's horrible. If you look at the buildings that did collapse, they're very old. Like it's like they're ancient. I don't know how old, but they're made of like stones, and it's like,
oh my god,
they are basically archaeological sites. You know, I don't know if anything was specifically recently discovered there. This is why we'd have to do like a deep dive into it. But because they're very old worldly countries.
What's funny is that like a week ago or so, they had unearthed something, and I forget what it was, but it was like an egg type shape or something. I forget what it was. Oh my gosh. And it was like, this just proves this and this and this and that. There was one where we found out that humans were twice as old as we thought that they were. There was proof that humans have been here longer than we've ever thought, and all that just came up.
Yeah.
And now this earthquake.
Mm-hmm. And they're also saying that, like, yes, this just happened in Turkey and Syria, but it's going to be around the world, precise.
Well, you know what? I'm very happy to live in the new, quote-unquote, new world.
Yeah, but they could even try to, like, if there's any Native American, like, that goes way back, you know?
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of sites, you know, that...
So I'm like, well, it can't be here because we're new.
We're new, but natives are not new.
No, but they aren't,
And there's reports, we can get into that too, where natives, different culture, it's a culture, different tribes and such, they have... you know, visions of seeing these, aliens coming to them. Yeah. You know,
and then they have it written on their walls that are probably 100 feet underground in a cave that's like underneath us right now.
Exactly.
That we don't even know is there, but we'll all be on Earth eventually.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Exactly.
I would almost think that because of the earthquake, that their plan would be to destroy everything, but I would almost think that it would unearth everything. Is like to open the earth to where you could see more.
I mean, it could unearth stuff for sure, but you have to think that when the buildings collapse, it's just like a huge pile. Like it's going to take them so long to clear everything. They can't even get to people that are like trapped and stuff, you know, like they don't have they need like huge cranes, and like it's going to take time before, and then if the authorities do find something, they're just going to hide it. They're not. Yeah, that's what I was
thinking too. If they have an inside man or something.
Yeah, they're not going to. And the people that live there, they're just worried about their loved ones. They're not going to be like, oh, look at this! I found this, this fossil of a, I don't know, whatever. You know, like they're not going to. really care or really notice that kind of stuff, I don't think. So there's a second step, and the second step is, okay, get this, a gigantic, like 3D holographic laser projection. So step 1, earthquakes, precise, get rid of all the archaeological stuff. 2, 3D holographic laser projections. Using laser projections, they will manipulate holographic images to different parts of the world, with each receiving a different message according to their regional, national, religious faith. So like if this area is predominantly Christian, they're going to get a message from their God, and they're going to witness the return of their Messiah. Or whatever religion. You're a Buddhist, you're going to see Buddha. You're going to see, if you're, whatever religion, you're going to get a message from your God, your Messiah, your, like, coming again, like Jesus is coming back to, like, the prophecy. And that's going to be 2. That's going to be the second thing they're going to do. The third thing they're going to do is they're going to give telepathic two-way communications. And this is all from that they believe NASA's going to do, okay? So it is believed that NASA will use low-frequency radio waves to telepathically communicate with the population of the world, okay? To shape their beliefs to match those taught by the New Age religion. So basically it's going to be a form of mind control to make the people believe that the Messiah they just saw in phase 2 is now giving them messages in their brain.
And then we'll all believe the same thing.
We're all going to believe the same thing. It's going to wipe...
like a religion reset.
Yeah. They're going to wipe out everybody's, and it's all going to be one. It's going to be directly broadcast into your brain by low frequency radios. Signals. Okay. Step 4. Get this. This is step 4. Now, I don't know if these are in specific order, okay? Because step 4 is basically what's happening right now. They don't know if they go in order, but it does say step 4 is a universal, supernatural manifestation using electronic means. One of those, well, it actually says, to create a chaotic event that will leave people willing or desperate enough to accept this new world order. The number one thing that they say they're going to do, NASA's going to do, is make mankind believe that there is an imminent alien invasion, and we're going to start seeing UFOs all over. They're going to come out and say, yes, it's UFO, and they are going to make us believe that the UFOs are going to, or the alien beings are going to strike down on each major city on Earth. And they're going to start attacking us. So we're going to have to, like, conform to what the government says. Kind of like martial law or something. Yeah, where you have to do everything because we have to come, the world has to come together. We have to come, no matter what you believe, you got to come together. You got to fight off these alien invaders. Yeah. You can't, like, have beef with each other on the planet. Right? And then... the other thing is, by this time, the Christians will believe that Christ has came back.
They've already believed, So this would be like setting up step 4. This whole UFO thing is setting up step 4.
And then the mixture of electronic and supernatural forces, where they're going to use, like, our phones or anything electronic to, like, penetrate us even more. Wow. Maybe with media, with different, whatever they can do. So that is Project Blue Beam. That a lot of people that believe in, like, conspiracy theories believe that is what is happening right now, especially with all these reports of UFOs being seen in a matter of a week. What is our timeline?
The weather balloon was January 28th, and then the UFO started on the 10th, which was 3 days ago. Yeah. That is so insane. I'm getting goosebumps.
I know.
Getting goose pimples.
I mean, I haven't heard anything from any gods in my mind. Have you heard anything in your mind?
I don't think so, but I think it would be such, like, a low frequency that, for the NASA part of it, the step 3 part, that you wouldn't even... I don't even think that you would know that it was happening. I think if anything, they're trying to bring your brain down, like bring your own conscious level, or bring, like, maybe not be so strong in your beliefs and be more vulnerable to where you can accept things without really questioning it. You know how they always say, like, oh, like with witches and stuff, like or vampires and mind control, like that, like mythical things. Yeah. The weaker people are the ones that they can persuade more. And even in psychological things, like psychological disorders, the weaker minded, the ones that are more wishy-washy, can be controlled more and stuff. So if they're trying to break down our mind and who we are by having us even have a little bit of doubt and question, then they can feed off of that doubt on everybody, and maybe they can just creep their way in through telepathically, whatever you were saying with the
low
frequency thing. So that seems like, if anything, they're having us question even our own religion and our own belief system by being like, fuck, these are UFOs, and maybe they are real, and maybe I was the crazy one the whole time, not to believe the crazy people that I thought was crazy. You know what I mean? Like, just break down everything, every structure of our own self to have them rebuild it.
And it'll be interesting to see if there is, like, more not UFOs, earthquakes around the world. Like, if we start seeing...
There's been so many,
there
recently.
Has been a lot. There has been a lot, but even now that, like, because I didn't know about Project Bluebeam until I started researching it after all these UFOs. I'd heard it, but I never really knew what the whole conspiracy of it was until I started reading more. And now I'm going to pay more attention to these earthquakes, you know, where they are, and what artifacts maybe have already been found there in the past, and what they think could be there.
So, you know what I found interesting about the earthquakes is that technically, like, we're in California. We're supposed to be like the epicenter for the big one that's coming, and California's gonna fall into the ground, and Arizona's gonna have or fall into the sea, and Arizona's gonna have beachfront property. It's been a joke for 100 years, right? Yeah. Apparently, in the center of Missouri is a huge fucking fault line.
Oh, really?
And their big one is coming.
In Missouri?
In Missouri, in the middle of the fucking America.
And then Missouri, is there...
Where's Missouri? Right there.
Okay, so, and they have the three or four big military bases there.
That was part of the weather balloon flight path that went straight through Missouri. But, so I had seen that there's a big-ass, like, fault line right there that's just... For whatever reason, nobody ever really cares about it because it's in the middle of America. I don't know why it hasn't been brought to light earlier, but I just was reading something about it that everybody thinks it's California, but really the next big one is going to be in Missouri.
I wonder if and when it does happen, if it's just going to split our continent, if it's going to be that big, or if it's just going to, like, annihilate that state.
The Mississippi River is right there. It goes right through all that. Well, Mississippi is right here, and so here's New Orleans right there in Louisiana. We're pointing at a map, guys. Sorry.
So it is on the edge here. That's the river, right?
Well, I think that would be the river, actually. Yeah, I'm not sure, really, to be honest, where exactly it is. I just know it goes right here. There's Mississippi, and But I wonder if it'll split the river bigger. And the Mississippi is such a fucking large river. Like, when you're on it, you feel like you are, like, you're on, like, a little thing going to the ocean. Like, I always think that I'm, like, when I'm in New Orleans, I thought that I was, like, right next to the ocean, and I'm not.
I've never been there before, but I have seen images of it, and it is really big.
I went to go like this to be like, here, I'll show you. I was trying to... we have a paper map in front of us, and I'm trying to, like... open it with my two fingers as if it's a tablet. Like, here, let me zoom in. I'm trying to, like, zoom in. Oh my gosh, we're too used to, like, technology. This paper stuff we're not used to anymore, I guess.
No, but I like actually having the paper map because it feels more, like, real. I don't know, it just feels like I'm holding the map. It's I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, well, that was our show on weather balloons, earthquakes, and UFOs. Oh my, I changed the name of it as soon as you said earthquakes.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to change it.
Oh, you're going to change it?
Yeah, I'm changing it to that.
It is earthquakes, so
so stay safe out there. Watch out for UFOs.
Keep looking up.
Yeah, I was going to say that. And don't forget to always follow the money. Where the money is, the conspiracies are.
That's a fact.
Yep, there's the truth. Okay, bye guys. Have a great rest of your week and happy Monday too. So good luck for the rest of the week. And don't forget to
Share, like, subscribe, and listen to us on Amazon Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Deezer, and more.
Bye.
Bye.